Alright. Hey guys. Wasn't expecting to be streaming as early as I am right now, and earlier than I expected, like 2 days before I initially planned to be streaming. But just been dealing with a lot of bullshit, especially with today. For the most part, so I've been mainly venting. No one's really at fault. There's just shitty circumstances for the most part, and that's about it. Alright, you guys are probably wondering what I am talking about, and I probably owe you guys an explanation. The truth is that it's been, basically, this has not been a good start of 2026 for me, for the most part. But a large portion of it was mainly circumstances that happened last year, but ultimately happened at some point it was last year, but it carried over. I'm still dealing with the after effects of it, where I had to help cover a massive expense at the time. And I had to give a lot of money to basically help with that expense. And I basically, for lack of a better term, I had to how do I explain it? How do I explain this? Without really getting into detail, because it is pretty personal. What happened was, I had to deal with the fact that one of my family's vehicles was repossessed around the end of 2025. Basically, in the new year. The timing of it was the most inconvenient because it was around the time where both my parents were off, so we weren't making the money that we normally make. So we couldn't really afford I couldn't really afford to miss work. And I was also giving some money for... I had to give basically all of my money at the time to help cover the expense. And I only got 75 of it back so far, out of 930. And I'm still feeling the after effects of it, despite the fact that things are slowly getting better on the overall household's part. For me, it's inconvenience after inconvenience after inconvenience. And now I'm basically having to deal with a lot of bullshit that's been happening. Basically, a lot of plans went out the window. And I was hoping to be off the I was planning on hoping to be off and paying off certain expenses permanently over time too. But like, I was hoping to be done with it to like at some point this month. Well, that never happened. And now I have to deal with... I'm probably going to have to start putting my foot down and demanding my parents slowly paying me back over time. And the truth is, like, this is more than just about the money. It's like, look, I'm tired of being the one to have to pay the price. I'm paying I'm dealing with consequences myself. And the winter storm also played a huge factor into what happened. Hit me pretty good. My work was closed for a whole day, and I tried to reserve a ride for today. Yesterday was fully closed, so I had to deal with a lot of bullshit connected to that. I tried to reserve a ride for Uber, and so I could get to work. Well, now that payment is currently still not fully transacted, but now we're dealing with issues where I have to deal with the fact that I was basically dealing with the bullshit where I wasn't able to come to work today. At the time, I didn't have the means to get to work, so I had to call in. So I actually lost a whole day of work. I had to use what little PTO I had to make up for some of it. Lost a lot of UPT. It's alright, I have more than enough to cover it. Way more than enough to cover it. I'm not too worried, but it sucks that I have to miss a whole day. I used BTO to cover some of the time I lost, and now I'm kind of upset a little bit due to the fact that I could have made a lot of money this week with the easy money with the winter storm, and this bullshit happened today. I'm more mad about what happened to everything that's happening today than I am about what was going on in yesterday or the month or throughout the month as a whole, because most of what I've been dealing with this month was literally, it's either extremely personal shit with my personal life, or it's a bit of both here, but it's the consequences of circumstances that I had to deal with at the end of last year in December. So, circumstances I'm still recovering from. But on the same token, it's more so the timing of everything that sucks. I think that's the biggest part that sucks about it. It's just I'm trying to be positive. I'm trying. God knows I am. But it's hard. Luckily, one thing I was dealing with since yesterday been resolved fully. Got paid, got compensated the whole day I didn't have to work. So there is that. Almost a whole day where I lost a little more, almost 8 hours of pay today at the bare minimum because I couldn't go to work due to this bullshit. And I also found out that I'm almost $90 overdrawn in my main account right now. So most of my money is going to end up going into that. Unless I get a $90 at least to kinda appreciate it it's hard to stay positive when you're in the situation. You know what I mean? And trying to get it back up. But it's like, what's killing me is the timing of it all, honestly. Like, on the bright side, I was waiting on my taxes to get filed up, and to be available for my W-2s. Now I've filed my taxes, so that's out of the way, thankfully. So, I don't have to worry about that. But the last thing I want to do is delve into my 401k, because I've been building that up ever since having to do that in 2024. Spent the last couple years trying to rebuild that up. So I'm just not really but yeah, I'm too used to having to help others in my family, so. But yeah. It feels like I'm taking the full brunt of everything that was going on in my household, if that makes sense, right now. Like, this whole winter storm fucked me over pretty badly. So yeah, so I'm trying to keep it together. I'm trying to keep positive. I'm trying to keep myself distracted a little bit. Like, for one, being happy with the fact that Dragon Ball's coming back, and then also the fact that we have a new game that's possibly going to allude to the idea that Dragon Ball Online might come back, which I would like. And then I also had to take some stuff. Another thing is I finally got back up and running with a Castlevania RP that I was doing with a group of friends. So we're getting back on that campaign, so I'm happy about that. And when a friend of mine comes back, I might start getting them and a few others to set up a Dragon Ball RP campaign. I think it's more likely going to be either a new game altogether or a Dragon Ball Online revival. and rehash or remake. Not necessarily a 2. All we know is that it's set in age 1000, so the same time period as, like, it is not Xenoverse 3. There is no fucking way. Xenoverse does borrow a lot of Dragon Ball Online, but it is set in a much earlier time period. I think it's like set in so far Xenoverses 1 and 2 were set in the years age 850 to age 852. So but we might be getting more out of that. So yeah. As you guys probably noticed, I was originally doing a massive goal of a grand for a 3D printer, because I was me and my dad were planning on doing a little vendor business with printing up minis. Yeah, the remake / remastered. I was initially wrong at first with the fact that I was adamant that there wasn't going to be new manga content, that it was just going to be a remaster of the anime with better visuals. But we found out that I actually reviewed it, that there is going to be some manga content to be included from Super from the previous arcs. So they're starting with Battle of Gods, but they're going all the way to the Moro arc to build up to the Moro arc. And I think they're going to be doing it from there. And then they're going to start, and then they're eventually going to get to Granola, and they're going to do a seasonal thing from going forward, which I think is the smart move. We're going to find out more information about Age 1000 at Battle Hour. So, but, yeah. So, which I kind of wanted the anime to come back with a remake anyway, but with all of the manga content and all of the anime content, and written in a way that fits both together in a way that essentially allows all the concepts to exist, but also fixes a lot of the mistakes that were made in both versions. But that might not happen. So, because they're using the original anime as a basis. So they're not completely doing away with it. So, but for Dragon Ball Online, and Age 1000, I hope it is a remake of Online, because I kind of would like to see a modernized version of it with the abilities and so on and so forth, the ability to interact with other cannons and stuff like that are in the Time Patrol. A lot of the stuff that was implemented from Xenoverse and Heroes just remade into a more MMORPG. I know this has been in development for I believe 7 to 9 years. So, from what I've heard. So, this game is gonna be a huge deal. Yeah, I'm hoping the 6 episodes are like an hour and a half, to be honest. Because there's a lot that they could have done, with the Beerus arc. And same with the Resurrection F. Yeah. Yeah, they did. The Project 1000, Age 1000, yeah. So they've been working on it for a while. Which means they've been working on it since... It's about 2019, I think. At the most. So they had plenty of time to rework stuff, and from Daima, rework stuff from GT, Super, and stuff like that. Definitely would make a lot of sense. Hence for them to do that. I'm gonna be honest with you, dude. I barely use Twitter anymore. Or I'm mainly on Discord, or for the most part, when I'm not streaming on Twitch and YouTube. For the most part, and a lot's changed. I barely talk to a lot of the people we used to talk to. It's been, but it has been a while. It's been like few years at this point. Yeah. Lots changed too. Like I don't even talk to Vel anymore. I don't even consider him a friend anymore. Kind of grew apart. Caboose, I don't even consider much of a friend anymore. If anything, we're just more so acquaintances. Who just happen to know people nowadays. Know some prominent creators, but still. I have a few servers actually. I'm active in a few servers and a few community servers. Like a lot's changed. Like fuck. And in the case of a certain cringe OC I used to have, thank God he's gone. Thank God I replaced him with someone else. I'm done with the whole... Yeah. So, I'm gonna share one of my servers real quick on Twitch and on YouTube. Hopefully, there we go. That way, for those who want to join, they can. And then you'll, yeah. Vel I stopped talking to, I think, around 2019. Because I didn't really... Basically, I got tired of our old friends group. Basically, that was when our old friends group was basically falling apart. But I basically got tired of the fighting. Fighting. So I got tired of it. Tired of it. Like, I think the only one I really talk to now still that I try to keep in touch with is Emmy now. That's about it. I have some other friends and met some amazing people. I met a good friend of mine, Kanoko, back in 2020 and 2021. And then I been a great writing partner of mine ever since. And then I met an amazing artist, Gochi artist, who also helped me improve my Goku. So yeah, I think they've been pretty dealing with a lot of stuff in real life. But But I think the biggest thing I am trying to come up with is some ideas for New Frontier for a Dragon Ball story. As I know, I had to lose been dealing with a lot of shit, and also more expanded universes, and new ideas, wrestling with new concepts that get introduced. I had to implement Super Saiyan 4 Daima in some way while still keeping regular Super Saiyan 4. It's easier said than done. I'm not gonna. And you thought that was bad. Heroes, oh, shit the Heroes implemented. All the shit Xenoverse implemented. You sons of bitches. How could you? Oh. Also been practicing doing my own original take on Goku for yeah, a lot's been happening a lot lately. Yeah, we do need to catch up at some point, for sure. And yeah, just be sure to state your age, date of birth, read the rules. And you should be good to, and once you have your roles, you should be all set. But But another warning for New Frontier. Welcome back. But fair warning, New Frontier might get a bit dark. So. Wait. Yeah. Oh yeah, I believe it. I mean, I remember the old days when we were way more unhinged and less knowledgeable of the lore. Back in the day, I was less knowledgeable of the lore back in the day. Also, I need to show this. Okay, basically, this is what one of my artist friends did for me for one of my birthdays. A drawing of basically the character who is basically the replacement of Son Matthew, which was a horrible OC in hindsight. Oh my! I made this? I'm thinking what's up. Wait, I made this? Ugh. Yeah, and basically, I took the original concepts of him, and I actually created not an OC, but an original interpretation of Goku Jr., actually. So, and I basically started expanding on him more over time, and he's basically the clone and adopted son of Goku. And he was found by Gohan around the time Goten was born. Him and Goten are born at the same age, at the same time. Gohan actually thought that Goku was initially brought back to life. Emperor Pilaf actually created Goku Jr. with the Dragon Balls with a wish from Shenron to try to get a perfect clone of Goku as a weapon. Because he wasn't specific, Shenron created a child. A baby, essentially. And, when Gohan found him, he brought him home, and Chi-Chi basically took the boy under her wings, and she raised him as if he was her own flesh and blood, and essentially naming him both of Goku's names. So his full name is Son Kakarot Goku Jr. So, and he's called a lot of the time the Saiyan Prince of Fire Mountain. And I'm writing it to where a version of Bulma Lee exists, a version of Vegeta Jr. exists, and in certain timelines, some other characters may also exist as well. And basically, my friend Ying drew this character as Victor Belmont, as you can see. And, he basically goes through a unique version of Daima, GT, and Super. Most of his life, especially like his early years, will stem from that time period. So instead of GT taking place 5 years after the end of Z, it takes place around the time of Daima, but before Battle of Gods. After Buu, before Battle of Gods. And then Goku Jr. would be training a lot under Gohan, Yamcha, Tien, Vegeta, Piccolo, etc. And then there's two other characters that are tied to him that I created, or one with a friend and one primarily by myself. And then the artist friend of mine is creating another character tied to him, but it's like, but we are but that's something I can talk about later. I got plenty of time to talk about that. But my friend is that I'm talking about is currently away, so it'll take them a bit for they'll be back around the 4th of February. So I gotta, once they come back, I gotta get everyone ready to get the campaign started. And then, but another thing is I've been streaming. I have been writing as well, just regular writing. Let me actually open my archive, of your own, real quick. So I think one of my most popular, funny enough, one of my most popular stories is literally a multiversal Gochi story. I don't know how. I don't know how. But which I do gotta get back to that. Yeah. Oh yeah, I believe it. Alright, let me share this on the YouTube side since you're seeing it on the YouTube side. I probably also need to fix some errors I've made at some point, but I'll worry about that later. Okay, and then yeah. And then, my friend is, probably trying to do some D&D planning right now, but that I can focus on some stuff at the moment. And then, I think that's about it for the most part. I'm just trying to deal with stress. Trying to not get overwhelmed too much. And yeah. But definitely gonna be playing more Dragon Ball probably around Thursday. And then might do some Abiotic Factor with a few other friends of mine. But and then I also got some other stuff I have like Alright, hang on. I gotta let my cat out real quick. I'll be right back. On a side note, much more happier note, since I'm back. Been making some good ribs as of late. Ugh. And then, but, yeah, been working on some stuff. Getting ready. And then, you know what? Fuck it. Might as well. open it up to more here as well. And then in case people want to join the other RP stuff where I do multiple campaigns. Hang on. No. But yeah, do be like that. So but I gotta start planning some stuff. Let's and then you know what? I think we're gonna call it here for tonight. I'll definitely be doing I wasn't really planning on streaming today, but I needed to kind of vent a little bit. I feel a bit better now, for the most part. So, but I want to thank everyone for stopping by. I'm definitely gonna be planning on streaming either tomorrow night or Thursday. Most likely Thursday, but I'll try to do it tomorrow night as well. After work. In order to bring back some consistency. But let's see if I can raid someone real quick on the Twitch end. While I'm at it. We're probably not going to be raiding, getting a big raid, but that's alright. That's okay. You know what? Let's raid more sport. Alright. Thank you for everyone for stopping by. And I'll be seeing you all either tomorrow night or Thursday. Until then, catch you later.